Yeah, you're not far wrong, Tarnpog. Unfortunately, I'm stuck on an entire team of them, so I am probably going to get shot down by friendlies at some point during this stream. For reasons that are beyond me, Growling Sidewinder has seen fit to put them on red instead of blue. In fact, they shouldn't even be on the server at all in the broken state the aircraft's in. Raspberry need to fix these switches. But yeah, it is my opinion that no serious multiplayer server should have the F-16 even available on it until it has a fucking damage model. And ideally IFF, but the damage model at the very least. Like, come on. Oh, why have I got a warning config? Is that it? No, we still got a warning. Oh, cabin pressure, because the cannon is open. That would help. Nope. Got some stutter right there. The game's running really badly right now. It's probably because of the Viper, I suspect. So I don't know how long this stream's going to be. It might be a fairly short one if this keeps up. Oh, I should probably keep that on. I'm still learning. So if we look at the team rosters, look at all of those F-16s. I can't wait. Most of them are carrying full AMRAAM loadouts. While we wait for that, let me just double check something. Trying to figure out why DCS is running so poorly. I've still got enough memory left that it's not that. It's not using too much CPU. I don't know. Who knows? Who even knows anymore? '16 hasn't been awful on blue flag, funnily enough, and for whatever reason, a lot of them aren't on SRS. The SRS doesn't work with the 16 yet, from what I've heard. They've been getting shot down somehow, and I've only seen 1 or 2 team kills so far. Them getting shot down is probably a missile going off near the cockpit. The airframe can't be destroyed by a missile unless it's like a big missile. I think it just deletes the thing from existence. But if the pilot's hit by fragmentation, it'll kill him. And at the moment, killing the pilot is the only reliable way to kill the F-16. Okay, now we get rid of the parking brake. Destroyed if it's out of range distance of everything. How the fuck do you screw up a damage model that badly? I did some experimentation with it myself. It's just ridiculously durable. Like, I had one belting along the ground on its intake at 200 knots and it didn't care. I couldn't get it back off the ground. It was like stuck to it because, you know, I had no leverage against the control surfaces. But yeah, it just was happily going along at 200 knots on the ground. Come on, dude. God, it must be nice to have pedals that actually work. Let me go, please. Nope. Can you guys hear me kicking these? I am putting in like 100% fucking boot in each direction, and this is the result. Like, they were kind of hosed even before the left pedal snapped, and now they're just unusable. They're getting worse by the day as well, so... With DCS, if you over half fill your SSD, it might as well be a Mac drive. I might have to move Armor back to the hard drive then. Actually, City Skylines probably, since moving that to the SSD didn't fix it anyway. It could also just be my video cards not keeping up. Although, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Would have been nice if they optimized the game or fixed any of its core bugs that it's had for like 15 years since it was lock-on instead of releasing the Viper early, but you know. Hate say this, but bind to the keyboard. I might have to at some point, like it's just obscene. Although I don't think the keyboard binds work if the pedals are even plugged in, which is also really annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I just need new pedals, but I can't really justify the expense right now. With this job I should be getting over Christmas, I might be able to. I just gotta be careful I don't overextend myself financially. I mean, this server also does have like 70 people on it right now, so that's not going to help performance, nor is the fact that it, you know, as we all know, is hideously optimized and it has literally like hundreds of SAMs spammed around the map just to try and restrict where people go. Like, look at this clusterfuck. Look at this mess. Why is this even here? Like, the ring of tors around the edge of the area is good enough. I don't know why all this shit has to be in there as well. I feel like the brakes are partially stuck as well. This thing doesn't seem to be taxing as fast as it usually does. Oh, tail scrape. You guys might notice my plane is a slightly different color than usual. You might also notice that every time I look in the direction of a Viper, my frame rate drops by at least half. I'm kind of, like, I've reached the point with the whole Viper release and how fucked up it is, and also the fact that DCS is performing very badly again. I've kind of reached the point where I'm on the fence about just shelving DCS for a month or 3, like I did before, and finding something else to do. Can't do IL-2 because my throttle's still broken. I don't know when I'll be able to get that fixed. I might just go back to like Tarkov or Stalker or do some random shit until DCS kind of sort of works, because this is really irritating. It's probably not great viewing for you guys either, because if I'm having frame rate problems, you guys sure as fuck are. Go ahead and turn the radar on. Just let the weight on wheels take care of it. Gonna need to test locking up the F-16 later with the camera on the Tomcat. Want to see how bad the lag is? Yeah, that actually might be a good shout. It could also just be because of the area of the map I'm in. I mean, this is the most densely populated area of the map as far as objects go. So that probably isn't helping. I was running some single-player missions, just testing different things, and, you know, seeing what exactly it takes to kill an F-16. Answer, a lot. And that was up in kind of the northern part of the map, where it's just flat plains and the occasional tree, up near, like, west of Minbrody, and there was no problem at all with the frame rate. Mind you, I wasn't streaming at the time, but still, the stream typically shouldn't affect the frame rate much, if at all. Like, I've never really noticed it in DCS. DCS, a difference between when I'm streaming and when I'm not. I'll notice it on the screen, but I won't notice it on my PC. Who knows, maybe DCS has finally reached a point where a 1050 Ti no longer cuts it, which would be really annoying since I only bought this card at the end of last year, specifically so I could play DCS, because my old 560 wouldn't run it at all. I thought it was awful quiet in here. Must have snuck through and zapped RA works at some point, or an F-16 team build it, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, do not be landing, my guy. Oh my god, he's landing. Dude. Fucking hell. Growling sideline server when, I mean, granted I'm not on SRS, but half the time when I'm in here the SRS doesn't even work, so I don't really see the point. Just missed an F-16 attempted to land into my face. No, I didn't. I'm beginning to suspect the issue is beyond my capability to fix, so I'm going to have to just get in touch with Thrustmaster and see what they say. Even if I have to find a new sensor somewhere and install it, I don't care. Anyway, I'll show you guys the new version of the skin I've been working on. There we go. I quite like the shading. I don't want to start switching
triangles makes for good watching.
It does indeed, although hopefully DCS behaves itself. It's running a little crappy at the moment. If it's too much of a problem on this server, I might just dip out and either go on just dogfight if it doesn't kick me, or even just do some messing around against AI. I might have to. The Viper's kind of messed with multiplayer a bit. Yeah, if only, Jeff. Rest in peace, CF105. I mean, this server doesn't require SRS. It does ostensibly have it, but it rarely works. And then half the people on the server aren't in SRS, they're in the Discord. I'm not in the Discord because I'm in too many Discords already. And I'm not on the SRS because I really can't be bothered. It's just a clusterfuck on the server. There's no point. Like, when you see the kinds of shit people pull on here, it's just like, why would I bother communicating with these people? Why are my mirrors not working? There we go. I can barely hear you over your jet. Really? It shouldn't be that loud. Unfortunately, my microphone's kind of broken, so there's not much I can do about it. just mess with the audio a bit. Hopefully that's better. I don't know, I can't really tell myself because I don't have a monitor to listen to. It's a DFA gun, a 30mm rotary. There's two of them. Right between the intakes. That's friendly. 283 for 60. I assume they only do small arms gun, but I don't honestly know. Okay, that's friendly as well. There's still some issues with the Mirage's radar. A lot of ghost contacts still. And the special modes kind of can see outside of their expected field of vision, if that makes sense. But it's better than it was. With that said, I don't know what I'm doing with the Mirage's radar, so all of that is lost on me. See that skin again? Sure. I've got a couple different versions. There's a friendly in front of me, 270 from 90. I've got a black and red version. This one, the red and black with some white on it, and I've got the old white, like anti-flash white interceptor scheme. Inspired by the old Voodoos. 740? Nice. Lost him. I suspect he may have flown into terrain. Maybe? No? Behind the mountain. That's friendly. That's friendly. This should be friendly. Nope. Is that a fucking... Don't tell me that's a gazelle. That's a fucking gazelle. Oh my lord. Fuck. I should have known he would do that. Broken ass helicopter kills me now. Hey Leon. Oh my god. I am so sick. So sick of gazelles. Oh. That's interesting. Where's my hangar gone? I swear there used to be a hangar here.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks. Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
So yeah, I probably should have used a magic for that. In fact, if I'd realized that was a gazelle going in, I would have used a magic on him and stayed the fuck away from him. Those things are dangerous. Just make sure I'm on the same start position. I think it may have spawned me somewhere else. Yes, it did. Okay, so we are north. 413852 east 0450179
Rearming complete.
at 466 meters. Okay, that's good. Let's settle this up now. Should probably start the engine before I do all this shit, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure it's in its idle detent. Keep accidentally turning the mirror off when I go to close the canopy. Is it on now? No, it's not. There we go. How's it feel to be shot down by a helicopter that isn't even a proper gunship? Dude, the Mistral is broken as fuck. The Mistral does like fucking barrel rolls and shit to avoid missiles, and then always hits you with its missile no matter what. That thing is so broken. It has the flight model of a remote control helicopter. Like, they took an RC copter and then scaled it up to figure out how to make the Mistral handle, basically. Yeah, I know, Tawny. I figured out what it was. So, I had to actually make sure the throttle was in its idle detent, because I don't think it actually spawns in it in the Mirage all the time. And then I had to actually make sure I pushed it further out of the detent once it hit 11%. Because I was pushing it a little out, but it wasn't cracking it far enough. Like it wouldn't catch. But we are all good now. Lucky DCS has ultimate no voltage, sag, infinite amperage, and then limited capacity batteries. Yeah, I know. I wish that they'd model in more failures. They make the game interesting, and they would serve to neuter some of the more broken modules, I feel. The MiG-21 actually has a lot of electrical faults. Like, if you have random failures turned on and you fly the MiG-21, something will inevitably break in about probably 1 in every 4 or 5 flights. It won't be serious enough to force you to land, but, you know, usually the gun sight will break, the bulb will go, or the circuit will go. Something like that. So we're just waiting for the INS to finish alignment here. I've got another warning light lit. What's that? Decoll. That is something to do with the engine startup, I believe. It's not that. What is it that... There's something I should have turned off, I think. But I cannot remember what it is. Oh, never mind, I know what it is. I haven't done the tests yet. I think that's what. With the joystick, Leon. There are people who play DCS with a keyboard and mouse, but it's torture. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to do that to themselves. I can read some French, and the problem is I can't read abbreviations. Like, everything in this is abbreviated. I understand some of the Russian abbreviations, but not the French ones. Okay, that warning should be gone. Yeah, okay, so that's... Décolle means the fly-by-wire tests haven't been carried out. So we've just got to wait for the alignment, which is good enough. Switching to operational mode and get rid of the parking brake. And then probably taxi onto the grass because my rudder pedals are so badly broken. Come on, Mirage. Thank you for the follow, Mr. John Madden. Welcome to the stream, although I get this funny feeling you've been here for quite a while now. Let's see if I can navigate my way out of here. I think it spawned me in like the furthest corner of Vaziani. Oh, no, you know what really helps? Nose wheel steering. That really helps. Now I can turn right, see? I don't need to make a sharp right-hand turn, but now I can. I don't know if you guys can see my rudder pedals bouncing around like that, but my feet are not doing that. I was holding my right pedal like against the stop there, steady, but the sensor on these things is totally hosed. Oh god. Now I need to make a hard right turn. Clip button at the ready. Fuck you, nuts. Do you speak Russian? Not much. I understand a little bit, I don't speak it very well. The only language I'm fluent in is English, and that's debatable after living in Australia for this long. But I understand bits and pieces of a couple of different languages. Not like a useful amount, but just a little bit. For all of those just arriving, I'll show off my handiwork again. Been doing some more skinning. This is my latest product. Pretty happy with it. What do you use to control the camera with your head? This thing. So this is a tracker. It's got 3 infrared LEDs on it, and then there's a camera next to my webcam, which detects the position of those, and then there's a software running on the background in my PC, which triangulates the position of where I'm looking based on the position of each light relative to each other. Don't touch it, your headset will fall apart. Yes, it will. It definitely will fall apart if I touch it. It's a pretty neat system. It does have some issues. If there's like a window behind you, it can kind of confuse it. Or if you're in a very brightly lit room, like if there was a, say, like a bright white wall behind me and light was reflecting off of it. Also, if something covers one of the lights, it doesn't work properly anymore. So it takes some setting up to get it right, but once you do get it working, it's pretty good. Where the fuck is the runway? The joys of navigating a Soviet interceptor base. Trying to figure out how the fuck you actually get to the runway. Should be this left here. I think this leads to one end of it. Or this might be the main taxiway, I don't know. Oh, it's anyone's guess. I'll catch up on chat a little more in a minute. I am reading on my phone, so it's difficult to keep tabs on it while trying to concentrate on not going into the grass. It's literally wizard level difficulty, yeah, it really is. Found out why the F-16 is impossible to kill. CIA was able to replicate and improve on Stalinium. They called this material Reaganite. Yeah. A new composite material for the 21st century. Rumor has it the ADA lent ED the metal used in the leading edges of the Mirage skin. Oh, sorry, to skin the F-16 with. No. It's not that. It's that the Mirage's leading edge slats and the leading edge of its tail fin are made of recycled guillotine blades, and so they have a natural propensity to behead or de-wing, as the case may be, the bourgeois. Okay, I think we're going the right way. God, I don't even fucking know. Where's the F10 map? Save me. Ah, yeah, we literally spawned at the furthest corner of the airbase. Thank you, DCS. Alright, so we need to make a right-hand turn. Okay, we need to make a right hand, then a left hand, and then we're going to be on the secondary taxiway. Oh my god. What a clusterfuck. So right again, left. This is a lot narrower to see than it looks like in the map. I don't know if I'm going to make this turn. DCS, please. Oh, barely made that. Guns are even less effective on the Gazelle than the F-16. Dumped 20 mil into the cockpit of one, and it shot me down as I came back around for another pass and survived the AIM-9. I've seen, I think it was Mav. I've seen Mav do some ridiculous shit in that thing. Like, the Gazelle is so broken, it really, like... The Viper's broken now, but it'll eventually get fixed. The state the Gazelle's in, it should have been removed from the game like the Hawk was. And just put on the shelf until an actual competent third-party dev can take over. Which I think they should also do for the Hawk. You know, even if they can't relicense it as such, or, you know, get someone else to pick up development of the existing module, they should at least have someone start over on it, because the Hawk is such an iconic and important aircraft. It really does need to be in the game, but it also needs to, you know, work. Bro, when I upgrade my pedals, I'll send you my old ones. Dude, that would be fucking awesome. It would be so nice to be able to taxi without fear of nuts clipping something where I go off into another plane or the hangar or the grass or something. Make World War II stuff a hell of a lot easier too. Really? Which fucking end of the runway are you guys using? Look, there's two of them had a whoopsie there. They're all starting up this end, so they're going to take off that way. I don't know. I can't turn around now. I don't have enough taxiway to U-turn. We'll just keep going. Speaking about Aussie English, have I ever told you about the girlfriend's accent? I don't think you have, Jeff. But I could imagine. Australian accents are one of those things where if it's kind of midway between Australian and something else, it sounds hilariously fucked up. Like, I know a couple people who are kind of caught halfway between a sort of neutral American accent and an Australian accent, like a really strong bogan Australian accent. It's so fucked up, dude. It's so fucked. It's like, put it this way, it sounds even more ridiculous than Newfies. That's like an achievement right there. She's an English teacher in Canada, lived in Australia until she was 18. Horrid Aussie accent up until the moment one of the students at parent shop, an insta-perfect Canadian accent. I used to be able to do the reverse of that. Like, if I wanted to, I could force my Canadian accent and it would actually, like, sound normal. I hate the sound of my own voice at the moment. Like, this accent's just awful. But, I can't do that anymore. I've been living here too long. Also, my music bot is skipping like crazy. Yep, VR is indeed supported. If you see a DCS stream where the camera's really shaky and the resolution's kind of low, that means the person is playing in VR. Also, if they're playing in VR, the text box will be fixed relative to the aircraft, not relative to their screen. So every time they move their head, the text will stay here, you know. Chase 16 last night. Cartwheel until I blew up. Got a good 6 flips before I blew up. Yeah, nuts. Just for shits and giggles, I started like fast taxiing one on this airfield last night in single player. I ejected. It went. Oh, sorry, no. I like deliberately rammed it into a Black Hawk. The Black Hawk exploded. My plane didn't, although like the shrapnel killed my pilot. And then I watched in the F2 view as the F-16 continued, went through one of the hangars because they don't have a collision model, right? Went through a fence, went through about 5 trees, bounced off the ground a couple times, dug in its wings and started kind of weaving back and forth on its wingtips. Went through another couple of trees and then finally hit one head-on and blew up. It was going for like a good 2-3 minutes without a pilot in it. Don't have the code for the Hawk. Would have to start over. I mean, to be fair, with the kind of state the Hawk's in, that's probably for the best. Gotta put on the accent when you're overseas. Yeah, like, that's the thing. According to my cousins, if I didn't really do much drinking last time I was home, so it's kind of tied to the family, but apparently if I went into, like, any pub or club in Edmonton with this accent, it would be easy mode. So, go figure. I can't stand the sound of my own voice, though. It's so annoying. Love to hear a bogan version of Ross. If you catch me in the right company, you'll hear it. It changes based on who I'm hanging out with. Like, especially when I was living up in Newcastle, it was, like, pretty bogan. Just like to reinforce the fact that every time I look in the general direction of an F-16, my frame rate drops to like 10. High quality programming by ED. I've lived in Australia for 22 years. We moved here in August 1997. Before that, I lived in the UK for 3.5 years, and I was born in Canada. Lived there until I was about 4 years old. No, I know, Jeff, but, like, this is an additional level of hating the sound of my own voice because, like, the accent pisses me off. Like, with this accent, I can't even stand my internal voice, let alone my external voice. Another crater there. Whoopsie daisies. So this is a ghost contact that I've got selected right here. This is someone with a jammer turned on, who I can't lock, he's too far away. See the way this jumps around? That's how you can tell it's a ghost. I think part of that's due to a bug with the Mirage radar, and part of it's due to jammers. Jammers make ghosts appear quite often. We're just gonna kind of get a steady climb going on here. So I'm kind of hooking out to the south of where the fight's going to be, just to give me a little more time and space to set myself up. Do a barrel roll. I mean, I've got a tank on, but sure. I guess that was kind of more of an aileron roll. There we go. On the right is an alive indicator, like the numbers on the Tomcat cruise show the radar computer isn't frozen. What? That? No, that's someone with a jammer turned on, that's what that is. When you get that dashed line, it's someone with a range jammer, and then the ghosts just appear. And it's very hard to get rid of them. There's a massive ship coming up over to the right. An Immelman, I think you mean? Like where you go up and then over the top and roll level? That's an Immelman. Oh boy, look at all these jammers. Off this tank now. Hey Trip. I can't look while I'm flying, dude. If I open my browser now, I'm fairly certain it will cause my PC to catch fire. DCS is a totally well-optimized game that runs perfectly with no issues. 290490. No, Tawny's had it off, I think. Something. That's one of the guys with his jammer on. That's enemy. 390. There's a whole mess of them coming in. Mostly 18s. We're gonna get low, I think. Nice to see you as well. And thanks for stopping by. Alright, we got some 18s to deal with. By some, I mean half their team. I really wish this thing had a data link. If the Mirage had a data link, it would be filthy. But sadly, no. It would also help alleviate a lot of the radar problems, to be fair. Like, a lot of the radar problems. Fuck! Aim 120s. You know what? I think I might get out of this server. There we go. Might dip out and see if I can do some dogfighting. Because I'm kind of not in the mood for that shit. Hopefully we won't get ping kicks. I do need to get better at missile combat, but when there's that many people on the server, and especially in the Mirage where my SA is really limited by the kind of janky radar and lack of data link, maybe not the best environment for it. But I also kind of played myself there because I got out into open terrain where I didn't really have a lot of places to hide. How many people we got in guns? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 2 reds, 3 blues. So we are going red, and we might end up fighting Pixie, which is going to be unpleasant, but necessary. I might get ping kicked from this server, because it is in Greece. But fingers crossed we'll be alright. Still having some performance issues. That's Turkey. Something that's showing as unknown locking here, which will be an F-16. And there he goes, swooping in behind. Here, Mr. Tomcat. This guy just made a huge mistake by getting slow. I made a huge mistake by missing him. He's going to fly himself into terrain if he's not careful though. There's the Viper. There's something else. What's that? Hornet. On my team, I think. God, the game is running so badly today. That's my teammate. Oh, we hit the Tomcat, but we didn't really do much to him. Couldn't get the hit on the Viper, wasn't quick enough. Just gotta watch my teammate here. I don't want to crowd him out too much. What the fuck? Seriously? A Viper just flew through me and killed me. Did nothing to him. The F-16 should never have been released until Christmas, or at least until it had a damaged model. This is absurd. I'm still, like, I'm really mad that this thing is, you know, in the state that it's in. I'm also mad that server owners put it in their missions knowing full well how broken it is. It should have been removed from them. Oh, the frame rate. I probably shouldn't have reversed there, but somehow he let me get away with it. Now I'm just going to avoid his nose and... You know what, I'm gonna restart DCS real quick, guys. Bear with me. It's just... it's running so badly. Yeah, Dibbo, it's just dogfight. Oh, that plane is so broken. So broken. Problem is, I can get shots on F-16s all day, it does nothing to them. It, like, you literally cannot kill the Viper unless you hit the pilot. That's the only way to cause it any kind of damage. Like I said, shouldn't have been put in the game. It should have been held off until Christmas, at least. So it was actually kind of complete when it came out. Because at the moment, it's just obscenely broken. I think it's too high. Right, I need to copy-paste this again. Hopefully it won't kick me. I think if your ping's within like 10 or 20 of the maximum, it won't necessarily kick you, but if it goes too much higher, it will. It's probably going to be a fairly short stream, at least DCS-wise today. I might play something else later, I don't know. By later, I mean probably in a separate stream, not part of this one. I kind of feel like doing some more Stalker maybe, or some Tarkov. Because at the moment, DCS is tilting me a little, as you may have noticed. We were red, I think. Game is still running like shit. Probably could have got away with a reversal there. Chance I was looking for. And now my radar's not working. So I've got this on. Okay, what are you? I think this guy's enemy? Yes, he is. Come on. Judging from how he's flying, yep, pilot is dead. Like I said, the only way to kill that thing is to shoot its pilot. It's a friendly Hornet. I feel like something's been changed with the Mirage. Maybe its power curve or its drag model or something. It just doesn't feel quite as adept at low speed turns as it used to be. It could just be me. Force an overshoot here. It's not going to happen. Shit, maybe it will. That thing slows down quicker than I expected. There we go. I just bled all my speed to do that though, so that may have been a mistake. Because now he's going to go over the top of me, and I'm not going to be able to pull the nose up after him. Oh, he's going to reverse. It's a huge mistake for him. Not enough to kill him though. That should have killed him, but nope. Invincible plane. Now he's low and slow though, which is my happy place. If I just keep my speed up a little. Oof! Oh, I'm lucky those power lines didn't have a collision model. But look at this shit. Like, these are 30mm cannons. One hit should blow his fucking wing off. Oh. Look how slow he's handling that thing. Oh, there we go. we're both gonna die here. Oh no, he is, I'm not. But look at how broken that thing is. It's fucking obscene, honestly. Like, it shouldn't be in the game. It really shouldn't be in the game. They should have waited until it had a fully or a damage model. I know I'm kind of belaboring that point, but really, like, I get that DCS, probably 90% of ED's market, never play multiplayer because they're the kind of guys that spend, you know, 20,000 bucks on a sim kit and just fly single player missions all the time. That's fine, that's cool. If that's your thing, go for it. But at the end of the day, DCS also has quite a sizable multiplayer community that is quite competitive, and releasing something that's invincible to the game, where it can just dominate multiplayer servers, is really not good for PR. Like, imagine someone comes to play the game for the first time, they're told by all of us guys, play the open beta, because no one plays on the stable branch servers, so they come in and they get killed by an F-16, which is invincible. Imagine the impression that's going to make. They're going to think, this isn't a simulator, this isn't even fucking Ace Combat, this is ridiculous. And they would be right. Shit, bunch of speed here. Tomcat's still got his wings back, he's really shifting. Oh, there's something else. We'll stick with the Tomcat for now. Out of ammo. See if we can go land this thing, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, Trick did that for me. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Okay, where's he at? He's about off the nose, I think. Oh, splat. That was my teammate there. Now, although it is fun to kill people in the Mirage by scaring them with empty guns, I'm not really going to do that here. I think I'm just going to land this, I might do one more flight, and then ditch out a multiplayer, because this is just running like crap. I might muck around in single player a bit maybe, in the Viper, and show you guys some of what I mean. And then I'll probably call the stream a bit early, and I might be back on later today with something else. Check Discord after you're done, will do. Okay, let's get those up to drop some more speed, drop the wheels. Make sure we clear the approach lighting, because that always helps.
We sit in the sun, in veins, we sleep, and we dream. Each of us dies slowly, in prison.
Easy. Okay, we'll do another flight. I really wish DCS was running better, because coming on this server and doing gun stuff is kind of like my respite from the bullshit on growling Sidewinder server, but if this isn't working too well, then, you know, whatever. I think it might be time for a break from DCS for a bit. There's a bunch of other games I want to play that I haven't because I've been too busy with this. So we might do some of that. Ah, this will be an F-16. God, they're so difficult to see. That was a badly timed reversal. Struggling to keep eyes on him. There he is. Force the overshoot. Easy. Let a little too much speed. So now he's going to go up. No, he's going to reverse, which was a bad decision. Don't think I landed any hits there, but we'll get him here on the downswing if he doesn't crash. Ooh, barely clears the trees. Also turn them back up on because that makes it a little easier to take the snapshots. He's going to try and force an overshoot here, so we're going to slow down. Stay right behind him. I don't know why people still try this shit against Mirages. It doesn't work. He's gonna... Yep, he stalled himself. He's just gonna recover from that. He won't recover from that. That should be a pilot snipe. Yeah, dead pilot. 345th been quiet lately. Brandt is working on the next campaign. We're doing World in Conflict. We're going to invade the US and liberate the American proletariat. So while he's making the missions and a lot of other members are kind of getting their shit together, it's been pretty quiet on that front. We should be active again fairly soon. As soon as I'm aware of timings, I'll post an announcement in my Discord. Oh, that was Pixie. Pixie needs to learn to stop trying to force the overshoot. It's not going to happen. And even if it does, the Mirage recovers from it very quickly. Trying to one-circle it. He's doing the same thing he does in the 18. Although you'll notice he must be having trouble making snapshots head-on with the Eags, because the Eags is a lot different than the 18's gun sight. And I don't think we have this, the advanced stage with the actual pipper on it, just the funnel. Or if we do have it, I don't know how to turn it on, put it that way. And see, he's just got himself into a really bad situation here because he's got an angry Mirage behind him. He's low, he's slow. And I'm a bad shot today, apparently. Really bad shot today. There was a hit. We're gonna go up. Unload so I don't stall into the ground. We're in a head-on. Very low, very slow. See, if this plane The 16, that is, wasn't invulnerable, I would have killed him by now. It should only take 1 or 2 hits from the 30mm to blow that thing to smithereens. It's a very lightly built aircraft, there's not a lot of structure on it. It's very small, so it'll have the same issue as the Mirage, where 1 hit will take out, you know, 4, 5, 6 different subsystems, because they're all packed into the same small physical area. 30 rounds per gun, so I'm going to kind of conserve here. He's going to turn across my nose. I don't quite have the speed to follow him, or I didn't have it to pull the nose up anyway. I can follow, I just couldn't pull the nose. English is hard. You might try and force an overshoot here. Just missed. 17 rounds per gun. Gotta get a little closer. If I had a smoother frame rate, this would be a hell of a lot easier. Per gun. Come here. Pretty sure this is still Pixie. He fights like Pixie. There was a hit. That woke him up. As you can see, if the Mirage can bait the F-16 into playing its game, it will win. If the F-16 maintains their speed and stays in the vertical, he will win. But he's not doing it. Empty, but right there, dead. That would be a kill, easily. Trigger down, tracking shot, dead as fuck. See you later, I'm gonna land. Get rid of this. Approach. I don't really use the approach mode that much. I don't need to. A break? What's that? Yeah, I know, right? To be fair, I do need to like kind of work out an actual streaming schedule, which gives me days off. Say stream for 5 or 6 hours on a particular day instead of streaming for 3 or 4 hours every day, because that shit's not real good for me and it kind of restricts my free time. But on the other hand, I just haven't got around to it yet. This is going to be a very, very scuffed approach, and he may well shoot me as I come in. Don't know why people bother moving the pilot seat when you can just sit up straighter like this with your tracker arm. Oh, that was actually a bit smoother than I expected. That's a crater. That is a crater. Yikes. Oh, we survived. Not a very big crater, apparently. Okay, so I'm going to call it there. Just do some stuff in the Viper in single player, and then I will call that the stream. Or my mission. F-16 versus... we'll start against the MiG-29, then we'll go against the Mirage. Taking a while to load. I I still don't, like, I haven't actually set up custom vines for a lot of stuff in the Viper, and I don't know what the default ones are. I should probably figure that out. So I have a HOTAS Warthog, but I have the controls set out totally differently to how the Americans usually map their controls, so it's fucked, basically. I'm not sure if I want to remap everything so it's comfortable for me, or if I want to leave it, you know, as close to an actual F-16 as possible, and then learn to work around that. Let's go ahead and hit fly. We are already in dogfight mode. Turn the HMD on. Oh, never mind. Oh no, there it is. Okay, we do have it. That'll just help me keep track of my airspeed when I'm looking at this guy outside of the canopy. Oh. Probably be ahead on pass. Not quite. Whoa, there we go. How's that for a snapshot? Okay. So, allow me to show you guys how broken this thing's damage model is. We're just going to casually go down to the floor. We're going to slow down and make this a little more shallow in this end. Jet's fine, by the way. Nothing on the jet is broken. Look at this. Engine spools up. I'm blacked out. It's fine. It's totally fine. Working as intended. There we go. There we go. We had to power slide sideways at like 400 knots to do that. So yeah, this is why I'm a little salty over the Viper release. Just a little bit. Alright, let's fight a Mirage. Hey Infinite Flight. Just kind of on the tail end of the stream here. DCS is not being very cooperative, so just doing some science in the F-16 before I jump off. This guy's outside bore sight range or what? It should be picking him up. He's right there in front of me. Oh, whatever. Up we go. Blacking out at 7.5 HGs, by the way, in an aircraft rated than 9 with a recumbent seat and a G-suit. Just throwing that out there as well. So I'm gonna just kind of fly like an idiot because this is an AI Mirage, and also I'm not very good with Viper anyway. So I'll play his game. I'll try and slot him behind him here and get nice and slow. As you can see, for all the talk of the F-16 not liking low speeds, it doesn't like low speeds, but it's not badly behaved. It's perfectly flyable at 200 knots. Like, there are no issues there. The issue is just that the Mirage does that better, right? There we go. He dead. That was a pilot sniper. Yep, that was a pilot snipe for sure. In he goes. Smack. Alright, we're gonna go land at Minvodi. Foresight barely works, use HUDAC, TMS right. What the fuck is a TMS? Is that... No, that's not that. Oh fuck. Oh Jesus. Oh fuck. I don't know what American terminology for shit is, Jeff. It is nice hearing that voice again. Last time I heard it was Falcon 4, the original Falcon 4, which BMS is based off of. It'd just be nicer if, you know, it had a damage model to go with it. Or external lighting. Or the ability to jettison weapons and drop tanks. I think today shall be a Hungry Jack's day. Nice. I don't mind Hungry Jacks, but I've kind of gone off of it. Like, I don't know. The older I get, the less I can stomach fast food. I really miss A&W. I want A&W to come out here again. They were out here, like, they opened a fucking restaurant in some shit-ass southwestern Sydney suburb, and then wondered why it didn't do well. Man, if they opened an A&W anywhere within about 20 miles of me, I would pop the place up by myself. Bro, it's a work in progress, I know, right? And I'm on the open beta client. How dare I expect basic fucking functionality? Everyone's been out doing ED at their own game, and it's a real shame. Like, ED should not be doing this. This is the reason ED is in financial hot water, because they keep rushing out unfinished modules and then never finishing them. And also, like, every time a new module gets rushed out, everything else gets pushed further and further to the back of the line. So the core gameplay issues, those are forgotten about. The reworks for the Huey, the F5, forget it. At this point, even the Hornets are languishing. But if you ask me, yeah, I don't know, Nuts, and that's why I'm worried. That's why I'm worried. Like, ED are kind of fucked with their business model, but at least they give a shit, sort of. And it's not, you know, and someone even worse. That's what worries me, is that ED will go under and someone worse will come along. You know, someone who not only has a bad business model, but who doesn't care about the game. Kind of like, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with what happened to APB, but something like that. An interesting game concept with some issues was fucked up because the studio went under, and then a company came in and bought it, basically just ran it as a cash cow without fixing any of the problems. It's the same deal. Like, that's why I'm worried about this. That's why I'm so annoyed that ED keep doing this. Like, I don't want ED to fail. I want them to do well. But I can't magically solve their problems for them, and if they don't fix their fucking business practices, they are going to go under sooner or later, right? And they might not like to hear that. They might ban people from the forums for suggesting it, but it's going to happen. It might not be right away. It might be in 5-10 years' time, but either way, the way they're going is not sustainable. What they should have done, in my opinion, right, in my opinion, is they should have pushed the Viper back until after Christmas. They should have continued working on the Hornet, and they should have just gone, put the Viper and the Carrier on the back burner. Just all hands on the Hornet. Get as much of that finished as possible so it's nearly done, or is done, right? Drop the price by $5-10. Like $105 Australian for the Hornet is ridiculous. But the Hornet is the most versatile module in the game. It's the one that, you know, if a new player comes in and says, what plane should I get? Everyone says, get the Hornet, it does everything. If you make it just that little bit cheaper and actually complete it, people will buy it. Like, the reason I don't own the Hornet is because I'm not paying $105 fucking dollars for a plane that doesn't work. If they actually finished the thing and bug fixed it, I would you know, consider paying that much money for it. If they dropped it to like 90 Australian, I would be a lot more inclined to buy it. But instead, they pushed out the Viper, and now this is, you know, hopelessly broken. The Hornet's nowhere near finished. It's just a bad model, and now Decca's got the JF-17 coming out, and that's probably going to have teething issues because it is Decca's first full-fledged DCS module, but you know what? From the videos Decca have shown so far, and from the list of features it includes, it is more functional than either the Hornet or the Viper. It has more features than the Hornet does, and the Hornet's been out for what, like 2 years now? And it's releasing in early access, right? It's part of the early access model, but fuck, it's releasing as a plane that has shit that works. It has functional systems. It has a full-fledged TGP. It has a JSOW copy. It has air-to-ground radar. Like, the Hornet doesn't have ground radar. It's been how long? And they haven't even bothered. And all of this, as well as the fact that they've got a lot of attention to detail. Like, for instance, the TGP on the JF-17, when it shifts zoom levels, it momentarily loses focus as the camera has to refocus. You know, even heat blur haven't quite got that level of detailing with the lantern, so I don't know. I reckon Decca, if they can actually make the release not be too buggy, and if they can maintain the level that they're at now, Decca might be the ones to watch as far as quality modules go in the future. Razbam have cleaned up their act a lot. Razbam are actually finishing shit now. So all the stuff people used to complain about other devs doing, ED are now doing. But ED apparently gets a free pass because it's just early access, bro, and it's open beta. Like, come on. If you're gonna shit talk other devs, don't give ED the benefit of the doubt. You know, where was the it's open beta or it's early access when people were complaining that the Mirage or the Harrier wasn't finished? Or that the MiG-19 didn't have proper stall behavior yet. Like, legit, the Viper release, I would honestly trust Razbam to produce a more complete module at this point. Because like I said, they've actually tried to get their shit together, they've committed to finishing things before they start any new projects, and they've actually started communicating with the community about what they're doing with the existing modules. Whereas ED, like, they're doing exactly what Razbam used to do. Except, at least, you know, at least when the MiG-19 released, it had a fucking damage model. It might not have had stall behavior properly, but it had a damage model. I will say this, the Viper flies quite nicely. It's a nice handling aircraft. I can't comment on whether the flight model's accurate. I've heard it kind of passed around that it's a bit underpowered, engine-wise. The fuel consumption is fucked. This thing can stay in burner for like 2 days and not expend any fuel. But it handles nicely. It's quick and responsive on the controls. They're very light controls. The rudder especially is very sensitive. And it's pretty stable. Even in a low-speed flight, it's pretty stable. A lot more so than I was expecting. And it's easy to land. Like, as you just saw, if I can land the thing, it's pretty fucking simple, right? Think Wags knew how bad it really was? He would have to. Like, Wags probably would have at some point accidentally hit the ground and bounced off while he was recording one of the videos. Or might have taken a missile and noticed it did nothing to the airframe. Like, I'm sure Wags was aware, he just probably didn't want to rock the boat too much. Knowing ED, it's also entirely possible that their internal build has a working flight model and they released the wrong one, because it wouldn't be the first time they've done that. They're not 100% there yet, but they're getting better. And they're actually, like, if you go in their Discord, they're actually talking to the community about stuff. both upcoming projects and the existing things. Also, you can see just how sensitive this is. I'm barely moving the rudder and it's seesawing everywhere. But, like I said, ED has kind of picked up the torch of where they were, not talking to people about issues and trying to take on too many projects at once. Then on the other hand, we have Polychop, who, I don't know if you guys saw it, Polychop on Facebook teased the fucking Kiowa, and you guys have seen the state that the Gazelle's in, particularly the Mistral that shot me down earlier. I would be excited for a Kiowa if literally any other third party was working on it, but Polychop like 1.5 steps above VEAO at this point, so yeah, nah. Like, the state that the Gazelle's in, I'm surprised they haven't been delivered an ultimatum by ED, fix this or get out, because they really should be. That thing has been left broken for so long now. And it's got, like, it's got the wonderful mix of a wonky flight model, like, you know, Hawk tier flight model, and then Razbam quality when it comes to the cockpit. Razbam have good art for stuff, but a lot of their cockpit coding's a bit off. So you guys may have noticed when I'm flying the Mirage, sometimes I'll go to flip a switch with a safety cover on it, and it will flip through the safety cover. Same thing. The Gazelle has a lot of issues like that. Parts of the cockpit that you can see through, switches that don't function properly. You know, it's fairly minor stuff, but it adds up, and it becomes really noticeable after a while. And then you add that to the fact the thing has the flight model of literally an RC copter, and the Mistral is just flat out broken, and you got some issues. Look, I'll say this. When ED finally get their shit together and fix the damage model on this, it's going to be a lot of fun to fly with. You know, I can live without wing flex. I could have lived without the TGP. You know, I can live without some of the more esoteric avionics functions, because I'm not going to know how to use them anyway. This plane's, like, way too modern for me. But you can't release a plane to the game with no damage model. Like, come on, man. Well, I mean, some of the shit I've seen people pull with it tweet, like Mav doing barrel rolls and shooting down F-15s and shit, it's really, like, that helicopter makes me have some serious questions. It's funny, there's a lot of aircraft in DCS that people call UFOs, the Mirage being a prime example, but there's a lot of aircraft which are genuinely, like, you have to wonder how the fuck that's supposed to happen, and nobody says anything. I can count on one hand the number of times I've seen the Gazelle's flight and singled out. No IFF was a huge fuck up? Yeah, agreed. Like, here's what you need for a functional F-16. You need a flight model that's close enough. You need, you know, a more or less working radar with the dogfight modes. Basic nav, maybe you can live without it. Weapons that work, stores jettison, and... Did I already say damage? Well, I don't fucking know. And IFF. Like, just the basic stuff. Just get the thing, like, dogfight capable even, or, like, BVR capable. It doesn't have to be able to deliver smart bombs. It doesn't have to have a TGP with working air-to-air mode. Like, who the fuck cares? If you want to do air-to-ground shit, just use the Hornet, or the A-10, or the Harrier until they finish it for the Viper. They should have focused on basic aircraft functionality first. Like, even if you said, look, for the first, you know, however many months, the Viper's going to behave a bit more like an export model or, you know, like an A model or some shit. It's not going to have this, that, and the other. But even if it was, like, even if you took away the AMRAAMs and basically made it act like an A model for a while, as long as it had IFF and a damage model. Gazelle's just nuts, but fun fact, the non-combat version of the Gazelle could do a backflip. I mean... yeah, but I'd imagine that would be a little harder to do in real life than it is in DCS, and that's the thing, like... It kind of verges into what I've been talking about for the past week or two with real-world external factors, but... Oh, that's the other thing with this, no external lights. I don't know why. Like, how hard is it to get the externals working? I don't know how to power this down properly, so we're just gonna go ahead and... What is it? That? Yes. And then get rid of that. Get rid of that. And... How do I... Where's the actual canopy open thing in this tweak? Or do I have to use Control-C? I don't know. Throttle to idle cutoff, that's literally it. Cool. Is that it? What's that? Off, SMS on, or GMS on, sorry. Under the spider guard? Ah! Oh, you can... Oh, that's cool. So you can crack it part way. Yeah, boy. That actually is pretty neat. So there we go. That is the F-16 in its current state. It looks nice. I think the external visuals aren't quite finished yet. It seems kind of plain. Like, not bad, just kind of plain. Like, the textures aren't quite there. They don't appear to have very much normal mapping, if any, on the airframe. Oh no, there's a little bit. It's not that evident, though. So, I mean, the externals aren't bad. They just don't seem like they're finished. The internals are fucking excellent. This is beautiful. I love the seat cover, look at this. But the functionality is just... This thing isn't ready for the game. It's definitely not ready for multiplayer. Once it is ready for it, I'll probably fly it a lot more. I'll have to figure out how the fuck to work any of this shit, because this is like many decades beyond my mental capacity, but it does seem like a nice plane once it's done. Anyway, let's see what else we can do here. Maybe take a Mirage. We'll take a Mirage against an AI Viper and we'll see how long it takes to kill it. And I think that'll be the last flight for this stream. I think DCS has definitely been running worse for me since this patch, which is really annoying because I've only just got it running well, and now it's back to this. Seems that turning that backup gun sight on, or air to ground sight, or whatever it is, messes with the special modes in the Mirage. You have to reset them to get them to pick up. Bit of a lag spike there. See, this is where we want to be. We want to have him relatively slow, and then saddle in behind him. This is the situation where the Mirage really comes into its own. We're gonna slow down. Good hit, and pilot banged out. Which is curious. I wonder if I did break some systems there for him to eject. Or I might have wounded him, maybe. I don't know. We'll go land this thing now. That way towards the airport. Mirage does feel a little different to me. I kind of suspect they played with something in the flight model. It feels just that little bit more draggy, just a little. It also feels like the air brakes might be a tad less effective, so they may have shifted some of the drag model away from the air brakes and towards the induced drag that comes off the wings by AOA. That's what it feels like, but it could just be, placebo effect because I saw someone else talking about it. I don't know. But it did feel like it was a little less happy in the low speed fights I got into earlier in the stock fight. I'm eagerly awaiting the revised startup list for the 16 by the way tweak, because I'll be damned if I'm going to go through that many tests and checks to get off the ground. Go into my graphics settings later before I play DCS next and turn a couple of things down. I kind of don't want to, because then it'll look like shit. I think the big one that might be killing my frames is probably anti-aliasing, but then if I turn that off, it really bugs me, seeing all the jagged edges on stuff. But at the same time, I think this might just be a combination of the fact that I'm rendering OBS's output from my video card, and my video card isn't crash hot to begin with. It's good enough to run DCS, but every time they patch the game, it runs just that little bit worse. Especially around certain aircraft. The Tomcat and the F-16 are main defenders at the moment. What I might have to end up doing, if it might still impact performance, something I was doing in IL-2 was I was using the NVIDIA control panel to force anti-aliasing. So it wouldn't appear on the stream, and it would still appear on my end. I thought it would actually overlay onto the stream, but it didn't. I feel like that ran slightly better than the default in-game anti-aliasing, because it was a different type. But I don't know. I am not good at computer. What I really need to do is just win the lottery and buy a whole new PC. We're not going to go for any kind of, legitimate procedure when we land here. We're going to go for the Mirage shitbot landing, which I tend to do on Just Dogfight, because it gets me on the ground quickly. And that's how you make an entrance. I think I slapped the nose wheel on the ground a little bit too hard there, but that's alright. I'm sure the ground crew will be fine with it. I'm not going to taxi all the way over to the hangars this time, I'll just get off the runway. Right, there we go. I think that's me for now. So I'll see who else I can send you guys along to. I think I'm still streaming. I hope he's still streaming, because that's where I'm going to send you. So I might be back on later today. I'm not 100% sure yet. If I am, it will not be DCS. I'm going to probably play something else. I'm kind of a bit irritated with DCS right now between the issues with the Viper and just the performance issues with streaming it. So I'm probably going to take a bit of a break from DCS for maybe a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, I don't know at this point. And probably get some more Stalker, Tarkov, whatever else in. Maybe play a few single-player games that I've been looking to play for a while, but I'm still on the fence about streaming single-player stuff, so we will see. Let's see if it's ready to send you guys over. There we go, 10 seconds. Alright guys, thanks again for sticking around, and I will catch you on the next one. See you later.